Hello, welcome to the match reaction video here on Latte Firm. Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest by 3-0. Thanks to a wonderful brace from Martin Zubimendi and, of course, the gunman, Victor Gyökeres, scoring again. Welcome to the show, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Lots to talk about today. The performance, the lineup, the squad. We're so stacked. Individual performances. Christian Mosquera, where did we get this gem from? Could he potentially be the bargain of the summer? Noni Madueke, masterclass, absolute masterclass. Had his fullback on toast, borderline abuse. Eberechi Eze making his debut for Arsenal today at the Emirates Stadium. And what a performance. What a threat he looks down that left-hand side. Of course, goals galore, top of the league, 3 points. What a wonderful day. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and get involved in the chat, because days like this, the content is just easy and so positive. V Vlad, welcome to the show. First in the house tonight, says, good evening, FK in chat. Great win. The depth was on full show. Mosquera, Zubimendi, Noni, brilliant. Come on, you Gunners. Like you've written the script for me, V Vlad. Oase, welcome. What a performance from the lads. That front three was on fire. What a signing Mosquera has turned out to be. And it's early days, but we're going to talk about Christian Mosquera. What a sensational signing he has been already. And remember those fools who started a position not to sign Madueke. Speak now, says Oase. Zooby-dooby-doo. Logical nonsense. Welcome to the show. Louis in the house. People kept saying Eze wasn't a left winger. What a player. I mean, wow. I'm going to talk about the dual threat and now what that means for opposition teams, because they're no longer going to go 2s and 3s on Saka or Madueke. They're going to be stretched. Paul James, welcome to the show. Good to see you last night on the Late Night Lounge. Says, good evening all. I was privileged enough to be at the stadium today. This was a true Arsenal performance. On it from minute one. Madueke, Zubimendi, Mosquera, Gyökeres and Eze. Wow. Also, shout out to Patreon members Paul Singh, Adrian, Paz, and of course, Matthew Simpson, who had tickets courtesy of the Patreon chat. If you do want to support the channel on Patreon, you can have access to match tickets, all for face value on a match day as well. Louis comes back to say it's mad how we didn't even miss Saka, Saliba and Havertz. We'll talk about that in a second. Matthew Simpson, welcome. Evening all. Great win today. Did what we needed to do, and the whole team played so well. So much depth all over the pitch. Matthew, pleasure to have met you today. I hope you had a safe journey home. You're going to need some rest, mate, because I know you've just come back from holiday as well. Logical nonsense. Our defense looks like it's gone up a level this season. No one's had a sniff yet. Only a 30-yard screamer. Dave's in the house, says, good evening. Good evening to you, Dave. Umer, LOFK, and chat. Brilliant day for Arsenal. Mosquera, Zubimendi, Madueke were all freaking sun. They were so good. Keep the chats coming. Asheen's in the house. Jason W says, great day to be an Arsenal fan. Paul says he left the stadium thinking today was fun. I've got my Arsenal back. What a great day. Do you know what? Honestly, I can't stop smiling. I cannot stop smiling. And I made it to my son's birthday just in time for none of the parents to even realize that I was at the game on the sly. It's Glock o'clock, says Jason W. Paul, welcome to the show. Sorry I couldn't quite catch you today. I hope you had a fantastic day at the Emirates. FK, one of those games where I couldn't stop smiling. We are improving. We are finally cooking. We are. I'm telling you, this is just going to be such a glorious season. And I can't wait to share it with all of you guys. Tse4422 says, I called a 4-0 yesterday. We'll take 3. Big ups, Latte Firm fam and the general FK. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Henker is in the house. Great day at the office, he says. More entertainment. Good evening to everybody. Right, keep the chat active. We're going to get through as many comments as we can. Of course, with the slides that I'm just about to show. KSSMYW says, evening FK, chat, fabulous win, good start. Shame about Odegaard. Yeah, listen, the one downer of today's performance and win. Martin Odegaard, of course, going down. Stayed down after that challenge in that first half and looked a real mess. Some people say he sort of landed awkwardly. Others say it was his shoulder. I have no idea. I've just got home from my son's birthday party, cobbled the slides together. I will look into it. I'm just as clueless as maybe some of you. But if anyone has the inside information or if anyone's heard anything, please do let the chat know. I think whatever it is, the club now just needs to give him time to recover and see it right, because I think it's the second time that if it is the shoulder, maybe even third time, got to get it sorted. Need the skipper firing. I'm not going to be that sort of that guy that says, you know, just replace him and see him out of the team. Ethan Wanyeri came on, did a great job. Eze is obviously looking magical. We've got enough quality now to hopefully see out the games where the skip isn't available, but I do want Odegaard to get back. Good evening, FK, says Arvs Qureshi. What was the atmosphere in the Emirates when the first goal went in? I mean, look, we'll talk about the goals shortly. I do want to talk about the atmosphere. Saturday morning kickoff, a couple of weeks of international break. The weather was a little bit hit and miss. Glorious sunshine first 10, 15 minutes, then became a little bit overcast and then rained for most of it, drizzled on and off. Atmosphere was a little bit flat, if I'm being honest. I know it's early days in the Premier League, and of course, it's the early start. Travel disruption for many, turnstile disruption for many. I mean, I was queuing outside Turnstile E for what seemed an eternity, trying to queue into the stadium slowly, not sure what was going on there, but it was a little bit flat. And of course, it did get rocking after that first goal, and it ended up being a very positive and friendly day out. Bush, welcome, says my 7-1 prediction was wrong, but I was superb today. I don't care that you're wrong, baby. I love the fact that we all got the 3 points that we wanted, and we can put our feet up and enjoy the rest of the weekend and the Super Sunday that is awaiting us tomorrow. Abdi, welcome. Evening all. First time at the Emirates today in 3 seasons. I missed that place. 3 points as well. Come on, you Gunners. Abdi, you can come again, my friend. Good evening, Patrick. Good evening. Good news. I'm absolutely buzzing, he says. Mike Jones, great win. Gyökeres bangs in another. Eza assist. Zubimendi brace. What a day. I have a feeling that the chat is going to be very, very jubilant today. Happy birthday to FK Jr. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all the best wishes. My son turned 6 in the summer. We had his party today, go-karting and bouncy castles and lots of cake and pizza. And it was a really good day. And I was scared that I wasn't going to make it. I had to creep out the stadium on about 85 minutes just to make sure that I missed the rush. And got home in time, and I did indeed. Right, let's bring up the slides as we normally do. What a great day, what a great feeling, and what a pleasure it is to be here with all of you. Let's start with the starting lineups, and it's not just the starting lineup that I want to talk about. First of all, the lineup, as you can see, courtesy of PremierLeague.com. David Raya in goal, so Kepa obviously on the bench. Jurriën Timber, which means Ben White is not there. Mosquera coming in for William Saliba. Going to talk about Christian Mosquera because he was fabulous today. Gabriel Magalhaes, of course, and Ricardo Calafiori, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Piero Hincapié, not there. I mean, defense-wise, we are stacked. In the middle, Declan Rice was given a breather today after playing over the international break. We've got 2 big games coming up, Athletic Bilbao, and of course, Manchester City coming up in the Premier League as well. So Zubimendi was in as the sitter. Ødegaard and Mikel Merino, after his awesome performances for Spain, was chosen in midfield. And then, of course, out on the right-hand side, Noni Madueke. What a masterclass he delivered today. Got a slide solely dedicated to him. That'll come up shortly. Victor Gyökeres and Eberechi Eze. And I tweeted before the game that I thought this was really sensible from Mikel to sort of not rush Saliba back. After Mosquera's insane performance at Anfield, if there was any doubt, if he wasn't 110%, let alone 100%, just see Saliba out and let Mosquera come in. It's Nottingham Forest at home. That ought to be a game that Mosquera can see out, and he did, and he was magnificent, did more than that. So I thought that was sensible. Declan Rice, look, we've been playing him week in, week out for months now. He does need a rest, and we want him fully charged for the opening Champions League fixture and, of course, for the big one next Sunday at the Emirates against Manchester City. You couldn't leave out Merino. He's played so well. Christian Norgard, obviously, hasn't played for Arsenal yet. So I think that was always going to be the middle 3. And up top, it was going to be Eze making his debut. Martinelli obviously had a tough time at Anfield, not really quite hit the ground running this season. Maybe a couple of games, couple of weeks out of the first team as a starter is a good thing. But focus on the players that didn't even play today. Kepa, Ben White, Saliba, Piero Hincapié, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Christian Norgard, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Gabby Martinelli, Leo Trossard. I mean, this Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Max Daumann, Ethan Wanyeri, of course, came on as a sub. Is this the most stacked we've ever been? I mean, it's absolutely insane. Get me your thoughts on the squad. Title number 14 says, good evening. Welcome to you. Fact Machine, welcome to the show. Massive day at the pub in Sweden for the Gyökeres goal. That would have been absolutely sensational, I'm sure. Vivlad says, I'm so glad he gave Declan Rice a break. I think you're right. He's got to be really careful, Arteta, get the best out of all the players, keep some of the fringe players fit, and just keep the minutes going in all the legs of all the players. Really, really pleased. Tise says Merino starting was a surprise. I think he had a fantastic couple of weeks for Spain, of course. Difficult to leave out a player in that sort of form. And I think Mikel Arteta wanted to kind of reinforce his decision. to start him at the weekend. Karen's in the house, says hello. Madueke was the surprise of the summer. We'll talk about that 4-3-3 just shortly. Guna73 Dave says Mosquera or Madueke for man of the match. I want to get you shouts on man of the match because I thought there were 2 or 3 contenders for that. Really, really pleased with all of the players today. Trevor Bibbins, we now have a squad big enough to handle the challenges we now face. We are stacked, mate. Honestly, I mean, the bench today, is that the strongest bench you've ever seen at Arsenal? I mean, certainly in the last 10, 15 years, surely. I mean, not even every player has quality. Every player can come in and do a job. Every player can almost come in and influence the game and make a difference. Really, really pleased. So happy with what Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta have done this summer. Honestly, we're so stacked. Never, ever have we been this stacked. I think the thumbnail should have just been called Stacked. Mike Jones says Marino was good. Paul James says we need another top-class midfielder. I'd like to see one more, even though Norgard hasn't been in the squad so far. Maybe that's an Adam Morgan Rogers type thing that we do in January or next summer. Who knows? I'm being very greedy at the moment. Talking of greedy, Hand of Arsenal is in the house. Much love, FK. Love your channel. Thank you, Hand of Arsenal. Hope you're well on your way to recovery. He always appears just as I talk about transfer speculation and players that I want. Hopefully that's a good sign, but good to have you in the chat. Noni Madueke, appreciation post says 11-11. So look, in terms of starting lineup, no real complaints. I was very, very pleased that Mikel Arteta decided to make 1 or 2 changes, keeping 1 or 2 players sort of fresh. And I'm really pleased that he made substitutions because it's good to see him changing players quite early. It's good to see him taking minutes out of some players' legs and giving minutes into other players' legs. From a Forest perspective, they had a very, very busy summer. Over £200 million spent. The news was that Chris Wood wouldn't start because of his jet lag after playing for New Zealand. But of course, he was in the squad. I don't think it was a good performance from them. I think Ange's got a lot of work to do, obviously, while he gets them from being counter-attacking team to the highest, wackiest line team in the Premier League. So that's going to take some time, but obviously really pleasing to get one over Big Ange and really pleasing to get the 3 points today. So from a starting lineup perspective, very, very happy. You know, the other thing about having a stacked squad, the fact that opposition managers and coaches are not going to be able to predict what Arsenal do. And I think that's a really big competitive edge that Mikel Arteta has. Make us unpredictable. You know, he's going to rotate, hopefully, and we're going to use that depth and hopefully going to be really, really big for us. Jonathan K, welcome to the show, says no Saka, no Saliba, no Rice, no Havertz, no Odegaard. And we're still calm. Unbelievable depth. I mean, when was the last time we missed these 5 players and felt calm and felt like sort of, you know, really relaxed? Honestly, I was on the tube, ladies and gents, and I was like, oh, no Saliba, no Rice, no Saka. No Havertz, no, you know, so many others. I think we'd be all right. Like, I felt so calm. And I hope this is not, you know, being premature, and I hope I've not jinxed it, you know, any sort of like injury crisis to come, but really good. Shepo says Timber is a cheat code defensively. Absolutely fantastic performance. I mean, the guy does it week in, week out. What is there left to say about Jury and Timber? Good evening, all. Fantastic day, says Luis Picchio. Hopefully I've not butchered your name. I probably have. The depth in the squad is incredible. So happy to see it, lads. So happy to see it. Mads, Mosquera, Zubimendi, Calafiori, Timber, etc. Totally amazing. Absolutely dominant beginning, end to end. Yeah, we were dominant today. Let's have a look at some of the match stats. Obviously, we fired Nottingham Forest away. Victor Gyökeres with his trademark celebration made me a very happy man in the North Bank. Those are the stats, courtesy of cannonstats.com. You can head over to Scott Willis on Twitter after every game, and he always gives the attacking threat chart with match stats and some other visuals about every Premier League performance. Do check it out. 3-0 the final score. Expected goals 2.2 to 0.2 for Nottingham Forest. That is complete control, complete domination. 16 shots on goal for Arsenal compared to Forest's 5. We had 9 shots from open play. That's really good to see. Shooting from open play, and of course you saw what Zubimendi did, which was fantastic. Possession-wise, fairly even. We completed many more passes. We won the field tilt battle. And final third entries, Forest, they did do stuff with the ball, but they just had a lack of killer punch. You know, they moved the ball quite well. They were trying to attack our box, but they just couldn't do anything with that final touch. Deep touches, 50 compared to 20. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. And a really, really comfortable day for Arsenal. Let's have a look at the attacking threat chart. This courtesy of Opta Analyst, and I describe it as a controlled performance. You can see Arsenal in red there, the sort of peaks at the top, the mountains, and the little touches of purple for Nottingham Forest. I thought the game, first 5-10 minutes, was a little bit, what's the word? Sketchy, scrappy, loose. And then we kind of got into the rhythm. First 5-10 minutes after that, Arsenal got into the rhythm. We started playing the ball about left to right to left, moving it through the lines, and we took complete control. And of course, the first goal came in that first half through Martin Zubimendi, which we'll come on to. Going at halftime 1-0, really important to come out with the same mindset, go again, go for the kill. Came out and got a second goal very, very quickly. Ezra and Gyökeres, a relationship that you guys are going to have to get used to because it's going to happen a lot. And then we kept knocking on the door, kept going for the kill, and we finally got the third through a Trossard cross and a Zubimendi header, but very, very comfortable on the day. And listen, we said in last night's late night lounge and the preview shows that I thought if we scored first and scored early, I think it'd end up being a comfortable day for us. I think had we have got into halftime 0-0, maybe the nerves, the anxiety, maybe the fact that so many of our players in that starting 11 were playing with each other for the first, second, maybe even third time, that might have crept in. And then, of course, the quiet sort of atmosphere on a Saturday early morning kickoff in the rain. It could have been the perfect storm, but it wasn't, and it was comfortable in the end. Paul's just coming in saying, I'd go for Adam Wharton. Yeah, what a player. Sad day for Odegaard. I'm hoping, Hand of Arsenal, if you're still watching, let us know what you know, because I'm hoping that the skipper is not going to be out for too long, but I do hope that the club give him the time that he needs and the treatment that he needs, because he really needs that. 433 says, beautiful field tilt graphic. Look at that. This is basically the attacking threat chart. Title number 14. I think you asked that just a few moments ago. Jonathan's just reinforced our defensive abilities. Besides, did Dominic Soboslai wonder free kick? No goals conceded. Defensive is our strength to the title. Let's hope so. But we are scoring goals at the other end of the pitch, so we are going to talk about that as well. In fact, before we talk about the goals, can we just eulogize for a moment about this beast of a defender, a warrior of a defender, who is not just rugged and strong and beast-like, but he's also so elegant with such a great finesse on the ball. Christian Mosquera, when we signed him from Valencia, it was a surprise, wasn't it? If you remember the day we signed him, just came out of the blue, the bomber. Christian Mosquera, who's he? We were going for Dean Howson. He goes to Real Madrid. So obviously, there was talk about us trying to get someone. And then we go out and get this guy. And, you remember the breakdown that we did on the channel, young defender of all under 21 players across Europe, most minutes, most sort of game time. Played at Valencia, has been capped for Spanish youth levels, and what a player we have. And this graphic on the right-hand side, courtesy of Football Econ _ on socials, this was what we used. And I remember some of the things that came out. He is a sweeping defender, someone who is aggressive in the tackle, someone who is an athlete, and his recovery pace, recovery speed, fantastic. Plays a really high line, a very, very, really good prospect, uses both feet, predominantly right-footed, of course, but he loves to play that sort of sweeper defender role. And he just looks so calm, like as if he's been playing for Arsenal for years and years. I mean, when he came on at Anfield, 4 minutes on the clock, and then he has to go and play in front of the home of the champions. And I thought he did so well. So I had no doubt that he was going to play well today. And I felt so relaxed that William Saliba wasn't even in the lineup. Like, what a player. What a player. What do you guys think of Christian Mosquera? Could he be the bargain of the season? £13 million, 1-3. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. We're in a day, we live in a sort of age where, unless you spend 30, 40 million pounds on a player, it's like sometimes it's not enough. £13 million. Forder, welcome to the show. What a great channel he has as well. Do check him out. Releasing Tomiyasu and getting in Mosquera for £13 million is absolute genius from Andrea Berta. And I really want to put this down to Berta, because there was certainly no noise about this boy. Berta would have known about him, obviously, being in Spain. Maybe it's something that he did more than anybody else. Mosquera made me forget Saliba, says Sulowski. I mean, what a compliment. Just think for a second and, remind yourselves how important William Saliba is. And, there have been seasons gone by where Saliba goes down, gets an injury, and your heart your heart sort of ends up in your mouth, and you wonder, and you sort of get scared and nervous and anxious. But today, him just not being there, great sign for the future. Peter says, FK, did you mean Christian Bosquera? I love that. That is what it's going to be. Matthew says his passing is elite. His passing is incredible, says Ben. So good on the ball. So composed. Like, he wins the ball. He's the last man back. He's sweeping up. Players are closing him down, and he's just relaxed. Like, it's like time slows down when he's on the ball. Really impressive performance. So pleased for him. And he's got a bright future. He is honestly not far behind what Saliba was at the same age, says 433. I mean, look, I'm not going to claim to know what Saliba was like at this sort of age, but what he's doing in a position that, remember, once Arsene Wenger said, young defenders will cost you points. This guy looks like he's been playing there for a long time. He looks like, 21 going on 30. Fabulous player. Tise says, Mosquera, fabulous timing of everything. What a player. Shut Wood down. And Chris Wood is no mug. 20 goals in 36 games last season, 2 goals in the opening 3 this season. A real handful, has bullied the best defenders in the league. And this guy made him invisible. Andrea Berta masterclass, last year of contract, of course, at Valencia. And it's payback for the Mustafi fee. Paul says, another Rolls Royce. How many Rolls Royces can we have? Oh, I'm buzzing. Nathan says I'm buzzing. Champions League next week too. The music, the champions. I can't wait. Honestly, I cannot wait. And this is the most important point. Paul Singh says last year we would have rushed Saliba back. That is the whole point of having a stacked squad. 8 new players this summer, and they are all going to have such a wonderful impact on this team. Really pleased. Kikanut says, no wonder Valencia fans were raging. The best part is that he was pushing to join us, as many will continue to do in the future. So Christian Bosquera, I salute you for a wonderful performance today, potentially the bargain of the season. What a performance this guy had. Martin Zubimendi, our metronome. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about how impressive he's been and how surprised I certainly have been in terms of how he's adapted quickly to the Premier League and the intensity in the ferocity in midfield. Sometimes players come from abroad and you watch them and you think, it needs a few weeks to kind of really settle in. This guy, the game is one step ahead in his head. He makes everything look so easy. He's always there mopping up. Do you know what? He reminds me, his mobility and his off the ball work reminds me of N'Golo Kante. And when he's on the ball, he's just the most elegant footballer. He's incredible. The only thing that I want to see Zubimendi do now is make it last 90 minutes, game after game after game every 3 days. He is absolutely incredible. And what a goal for that first goal, eh? I think it was a corner. A Forest defender may have sort of headed it. The ball sort of looped up in the air outside of the box. And the technique, look at that finish. That's still there, courtesy of TNT Sport. Look at the way that he's got his leg so high up and he's almost on top of the ball as he hits it. It's a fabulous strike. I don't think it took a deflection. The ball sort of curved away from the goalkeeper, nestled into the net. And what a finish. And what a goal. And I think, the game needed that moment just to really kind of get the fans up on their feet. I think Mikel Merino went close. Matt Sells made a really good save by sort of spreading himself big. And I think he saved it off his tummy or his rib cage. That could have been one, but we, of course, took the lead through Martin Zubimendi, and it was a glorious goal. Absolutely tremendous. I don't know how many goals I'm expecting Martin Zubimendi to score this season. Not many, but he scored 2 today, which is fantastic. Paul James says Zubimendi is both elegant and efficient. Tise says Zubimendi just needed to add offensive output to his game, and he has. Scary times coming, but not for us. I love it. James, welcome to the show. He's so calm and industrious. He is more defensive-minded. Cazorla, that's not a bad shout. Paul agreeing with me there with the Kante vibes. Yeah, just defensively. N'Golo Kante was fabulous. Every game that I ever watched, he would just be that guy that was just waiting for the ball and always in the right time at the right moment, sort of sweeping up and cleaning up and just, cleaning up the mess and just getting the team going and getting them on the attack again. And he reminds me a lot of that in terms of when we're anticipating the ball to kind of break. Absolutely fabulous. Nick says Zubi covered the most ground today. Is that a question? Hopefully it's a fact. Fabulous. Kante was a cheat code, says Jonathan. Title number 14, which is, I think, what's going to come, says, like the video, people. There are hundreds of you watching live on YouTube right now. Please do like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. We do daily shows. But look, Zubimendi, fabulous. 1-0. Like I said, we go into halftime, 1-0 up. It was really important to come out in the second half. We did get the goal, which I'll cover on the next one. But just before we end the slide on Zubi, he scored then his second of the goal, our third last goal of the game. And that came from a Leo Trossard cross from the sort of left half space, curving in towards the goalkeeper. and up he rose like a salmon, like a prime Mikel Merino, and just nodded it home. Brilliant header, top corner of the goal. Impossible for Matt Sells, who is a top goalkeeper, to save. And Martin Zubimendi, a brilliant performance. And the header just shows you how much ground he covers. This is a guy who was at the base of our midfield today, finding himself just outside the 6-yard box late into the game with a header and scoring. Really fabulous day out. I hope that we can keep this guy fit. I love everything that I'm seeing from him. He just gets our attack going. Left foot, right foot, short pass, long pass, high ball, through ball, low ball, mobility, mopping up, sweeping up, getting into the box crashing late on in the game, covering the most ground. What have we signed? Martin Zubimendi, tremendous player. Really, really love it. What else is there? James just saying, today was another example of Rice and Merino need to alternate rather than play together. I think Declan Rice just needed a game out. You know, Declan Rice has been absolutely wonderful for us, but we've just been flogging him week in, week out. He needs a break. England are going to do exactly the same to him. And I think today was just a great squad management thing from Mikel. I think it would have been tempting just, I mean, in years gone by, so many of you have said we'd have just chucked in that first 11. He's got to be really mature about this. He's got to protect our players, and he's got to keep players fresh and fit, because you never know who's going to play in any game, and the games are coming thick and fast, of course. So really great day for Zubimendi. Very, very pleased. Jojo Rabbit says Merino and Zubimendi looked a lot more fluid than Rice and Zubimendi. Look, Rice and Zubimendi have only played together like 3 times. You got to remember Merino and Zubimendi played together at Real Sociedad, and they've got that familiarity. Obviously, the language barrier is not a problem. Maybe they communicate a little bit better. I'm not sure how good Zubimendi's English is. But there we are. I think it'll come. I'm not worried about it at all. Nick just confirming it was from a corner. Does it count as a corner goal? Because Forest technically cleared it. So does the ball go back into open play? I don't think that counts as a set piece goal, but correct me if I am wrong. Terence Tibbs, salmon, olive oil, butter, yellow mustard, garlic, chili flakes, paprika, salt, pepper, garlic. My man, I'm not often lost for words, but that sounds delicious, if I'm being brutally honest with you. But thank you for that. Zubimendi, what a fabulous player. Let's talk about goal number 2. And ladies and gents, boys and girls, we've got to get used to this. What a sight. First up, performance of Eberechi Chiesa. Let me know in the chat. What did you think? Debut performance. I think he would have been quite emotional today. I think he would have been deep down a little bit nervous, a little bit sort of, anxious about how he's going to perform. Home turf, his first game. Obviously, at the other end of the spectrum, he would have been feeling absolutely delighted, buzzing. This is a dream. This is fantasy. Is this true? Is this real? And I thought he played absolutely awesome. And listen, he's a connector in that he's a technically brilliant footballer. He can be out wide in the center. He can flick. He's a very efficient way of passing the ball very quickly. He doesn't need that first touch, just moves the ball quickly. 2K Dave saying those flicks were too clean. He can beat his man. He dribbles against his fullback and he can just, with a burst of acceleration, and he's ghosting his fullback. And honestly, I love Martinelli. You guys know this, but you can see today the difference that Eberechi Chiesa has on that left-hand side. He's playing with that confidence. He just glides past players, and he did it time and time again. And what this is going to mean is that opposition teams are not going to be able to double, triple up when Saka's back, because they can't afford to. We can go down both sides, and both wide players can take on both fullbacks, and both wide players can get into the box and cross and create and get assists, which is what he did for Victor Gyökeres early in that second half. A low ball across the box, and Victor Gyökeres just toe poking it home above the goalkeeper in front of the North Bank. Tremendous. I talked on last night's Late Night Lounge about the importance of Victor Gyökeres just scoring and just keeping that run ticking along. I think Anfield, forgivable. Tough team, but there was too much noise about it. Old Trafford, first game for Arsenal, again, forgivable, but there was too much noise about, he's a complete waste, this, that, and the other. Smashed in a couple against Leeds. Good goal today, and a really good performance from Victor Gyökeres. I'm really interested. I can't wait to watch the whole match again, because I want to watch his link-up play. I thought it was quite impressive in that first half, if I'm being honest. And then in the second half, there was an amazing opportunity that he sort of started off himself, running towards the goal, played it out wide to Madueke, who slipped him back in, and he smashed it against the woodwork. I think it was the post. The goal was vibrating for 20 seconds. The goal might still be shaking now, but he hit that with such venom, such ferocity. It's almost a shame that wasn't a goal because it probably would have torn a hole in the net. But what a great move. And he was so gutted that he hadn't scored. I've said it before. This guy just wants to score goals. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. Just wants to score goals. And I love the fact that he's in the team. So really important for him to get on the score sheet. Really important for Eza to have his moment and to get that assist. And I think you're going to see a lot of this combination on screen throughout this season. Graham Watkins, welcome to the show. I'm late, but a huge hello to everyone. Come on, you Gunners. Enjoy this win, everyone. We are enjoying this win very, very much. Paul says it was a great ball from Ricky Calafiori to Eze. I can't remember that, actually, to be honest. I need to watch the highlights. I haven't watched any of the highlights. I'm going to rewatch the game after match of the day tonight. I can't wait. I love wins. I love wins so much. KSSNYW says, I thought Eze slapped today. Having a working left side is incredible. My thoughts exactly. And I do wonder what Martinelli was thinking watching on. Is he thinking, sat there, okay, this is the end of my time on that left-hand side? Or is he going to be motivated? Let's not forget, Gabby Martinelli, has shown that he is a really, really good player. He's just not had it for the last sort of year, 2 years, and he's really struggled. And I hope that he looks at this, takes the time to break, takes the time to reflect, takes the time to work on the training ground with better players. And I hope he really sort of wants to get back into that team. That's the sort of attitude we need from anyone who's not playing. Dave says Eza got better the longer the game went on. Sped up our play as well. Yeah, remember, like, people have just been talking about the flicks. I think we've talked about it recently where, you're sort of Ramsey's, Cesks, Cazorla's, Jack Wilshere's. They had this ability to just play the ball first time, whether it was a back flick, a give and go. Like some of our midfielders, Martin Odegaard does this a lot. They hold onto the ball too long. Granit Xhaka used to do it, and it always used to frustrate me. Like, you're just slowing it all down. This is a very efficient mover of the ball. Like those flicks, those first-time passes, it helps us break the lines and make our way up the pitch much, much quicker. Matthew says, love seeing Eza and Zubimendi with that one-touch passing, something we haven't seen enough of. Exactly that. Very, very pleased. Where does Saka play in this team? Obviously, he's going to come in on the right-hand side. We'll talk about Madueke in just a second. Paul says, lots of flair from both of our wide men today. I mean, that's exactly the point that I was trying to make. You become unpredictable. You become difficult to defend against because no longer is our main threat down the right-hand side. Our threat is going to come at you left. It's going to come at you right. It's going to come at you centrally through Victor Gyökeres. Arteta is cooking. How refreshing it is to have a number 9. This is important. I think there's a lot of talk now about, just get rid of Kai Havertz and what did he ever do? Havertz is still a top caliber player. Do not sleep on Kai Havertz, Arsenal fans. Havertz is needed for the big 6 games, in my opinion, says 4-3-3. I think he's going to have a big, big role to play in this season. Jonathan says Arteta's still going to use Martinelli in the big games. I'm not sure. Peter says Martinelli was looking at Eza like, we shall see. Right, let's move on to the last thing which I want to talk about, which is, of course, the Madueke Masterclass. So much to say about this boy. What a performance today. Let me know in the chat, what did you make of Madueke's performance? I went on the Canon podcast a couple of days ago with Rohan Jivan, and we were talking about Madueke, and Rohan knows that over the summer I've been really eulogizing and getting excited about this signing. I think he's just such an incredibly positive player. Every time he gets the ball, he just wants to run forward. Every time he gets the ball, he just wants to run at his fullback. Every time he gets a sniff, he wants to either get a cross in, get a little dink ball across, or maybe the shooting will come soon. But he's just looking to do stuff in the final third. I love the fact that he's just got attack on his mind, forward on his mind, and just keeping it simple. He had his fullback on toast today. Unplayable, unstoppable. And it was borderline abuse to Nico Williams at times. Like, I felt sorry for the boy. But Noni Madueke, I thought, was absolutely awesome. And he's just relentless. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And he made it look so easy. I mean, imagine when he's properly clicking with this team, and once he's got that sort of chemistry with Victor Gyökeres and the automatisms come into play, like, he can anticipate the movements of his striker and the box crashes. This guy is going to be special. Everyone questioned that, why are we spending so much money on another Chelsea player? He's not even played 70 games for Chelsea, but you can see the talent is there. You can see he's happy. He's thriving in a really positive environment. And Mikel Arteta has coached many a wide men, and he's really elevated their games. And I'm so excited to see what he does with Noni Madueke. We have a super chat. Thank you so much. Very, very generous donation to the channel, Michael. It's greatly appreciated. He says, between the boxes, Noni is probably our best winger. But inside the box, Saka is still the king. Listen, I'm not going to compare Madueke and Saka. I think we know what Bukayo Saka is to us. We know how important he is to us. And none of us can wait until he comes back. But in Noni Madueke, not only do we have a really credible backup, obviously, and it's not just about backup. You know, he's going to allow Saka to maybe roam and take on other positions. And likewise, Noni Madueke might also do certain things in games and play in different positions. The fact that we've got both is tremendous. Really, really good performance from Noni Madueke today. I just want to see more of it. I hope he continues to have a run in the team. I really want him to, just rack up performances now, minutes now, get that confidence, and just so exciting. And the best thing about Noni Madueke, ladies and gents, for me, when he gets the ball, there is a sense of excitement. You know, all the fans are upstanding, and you know in your mind you're thinking, whether you're watching it on TV, whether you're in the ground, you're thinking, go on, Noni, run it, you man, run it, make something, do something. And he does it every time. And his work rate is fantastic. Jonathan Kay says, Madueke, I eat my humble pie. Listen, it's not about humble pie, man. Like, we all have opinions. Sometimes you make good calls, sometimes you make bad calls. You know what this community is like, guys. We're not going to turn on each other. It's just the way that it is. Madueke, really, really good performance. Terence Tibbs, you did say that Madueke would cook, and he is certainly doing so. V Vlad says he's so direct. I love it. First thought is always to run at his man, making that fee look good already. Yeah, did we get him for half price? Madueke was relentless. Misplaced pass, go again. Didn't beat his man, go again. Get knocked down, get up, and just go again. That is what it is about. I'm really, really pleased. And Peter also just reinforcing this. I can't wait for Nkapio to also show what he can do. What a time to be an Arsenal fan. Nkapio, of course, left back, overlapper with Eze, with Martinelli. That's going to be a massive, massive partnership. Jeff, Noni is happy and confident in a better team, which makes him so good. Spot on, Jeff. I think sometimes football environments are so important to how you get the best out of certain players. There are players that will go to a club like Chelsea where they've got 60 players on their books and they'll thrive there. And there are other players who need to be in a much more nurturing environment where they feel valued, where they have a pathway, where they understand their role. And, maybe Noni and Arsenal is exactly that. Dave says Madueke will get plenty of game time because he will play when Eze or Saka need a rest. I think the rotation point is really important. Really important. You know, we've seen what running Saka into the ground has done to him in the past, and that is just the way that it is. I'm aware there's a Premier League game on now, 8:00. It is, I think, Chelsea away to Brentford. Hopefully they get turned over. But what a wonderful day for Noni Madueke, and what a wonderful day for Arsenal and for Mikel Arteta. Very, very pleased. So really pleased with the performance today. Really pleased with the 3 points. And of course, we are now top of the league. So there you have it, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Really, really positive match reaction. Very pleased with what I've seen today. Hope you guys all enjoy the match of the day and the highlights and watch the game again. Really fantastic. We'll be back tomorrow with a deeper dive into the game, individual performances. So, do look out for that. But really appreciate you joining on a Saturday night. I love these shows, especially when we win. And I love all of you guys. The community that we've got is fantastic. Thanks also to all of our Patreon members. Thanks also to all of our channel members. And there will be a giveaway. Now that Eze has made his debut, the next giveaway on this for Patreon members will be an Eze shirt of his or her choice. How about that? We're going to leave it there. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. Drop a like on the video. It's free to do. Please do that before you leave. And until tomorrow, take it easy, enjoy the highlights, and sleep well. It's raining goals. Arsenal are top of the league. Bye for now.